Good morning, BCC. How are we doing today? Lovely. Are you feeling energetic? That bodes well for you. All right, so as said, my name is Connor. I've been at BCC for about 8 years now. This is going to be my second time up on stage here. If you haven't gotten a chance to meet me and I haven't gotten to introduce myself to you, I serve here on the kids teams with Five Alive. I serve on our youth teams and I serve on our tech teams. So you might have seen my face around before, hopefully. And today I get to talk to you about 3 of my favorite subjects. I get to talk to you about Jesus, his provision for us, and water. Love all 3 of those things. I hope you do as well. All right. So, I always like to start off with our story just so we get a little reminder of where we're at, what I'm talking about. No one's confused about what I'm saying in case you haven't heard it before. I hope you have, but in case you haven't. But I tend to get a little distracted in my story, so I'm going to have you guys interrupt me a little bit. And I'm going to have you guys looking out for 3 phrases. This is an activity we do in Five Alive, so you guys get to experience what Five Alive is like. Now, whenever I say one of these 3 phrases, you guys have to shout out another phrase back to me. And if you aren't energetic enough and not excited enough, the story does not end, okay? All right. So today's words we're going to be looking for. Number 1 is Jesus. So whenever I say Jesus, I want you guys to say, he saves, okay? So if I say Jesus, he saves. Oh, lovely. The next one we're going to be looking out for is going to be water, and that's going to be, yay, hydration. Excellent. And finally, we're going to be looking for wine, and we're going to say party time whenever I say wine. So wine. Party time. Excellent. You guys have got it down to a T. Now we open up my Bible so we can get started. Righty. So. On the 3rd day, a wedding took place in Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother, there we go, was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied. "My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by Jews for the ceremonial washing, each holding 80 to 120 liters. Jesus, there we go, said to the servants, "Fill the jars to the brim with water." So they filled them to the brim. When he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet," they did. And the master of the banquet tasted the water, there we go, that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called to the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then," gotta turn my page, "the cheaper wine," there we go, "after the guests have had too much to drink, but you have saved the best till last." What Jesus did here in Cana in Galilee, oh, I didn't catch that one. Good job, you guys. Here in Cana of Galilee was the first of his signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. After this he went down to Capernaum with his mother and brothers and his disciples. There they stayed for a few days. Now, great story, personally, I think. We get all my favorite things. We get water, wine, party time, and Jesus, all good things. But I want to focus on 3 really important things in this story. So, first of all, I'm going to be talking about Jesus' company. I think a very underappreciated thing that Jesus provides us. The next, I want to talk about the luxury of grace and salvation, and how it's the best thing that can happen for us. And finally, I'm going to be talking about the new wine, and the best is yet to come. So, let me start off. First thing about Jesus that I think we should all remember is that, as my home country would say, he's good people. He's pleasant to be around and spend time with. Everybody wants to be Jesus' friend, and Jesus wants to be everybody's friend. That's one of the things he exemplified most in his life. And a way I've summarized this, to many disapproving nods and shakes of the head from youth leaders and my parents as well, is Jesus is a bro. He is the best bro a bro could ask for. And what evidence do we have him being a good bro? We have plenty. So to start off with, we know he brings drinks to parties. That's always appreciated in a bro. Can't show up without a drink. Next, we know he brings food as well. Gotta bring the wings to the party as well. And he likes chilling with his friends. They're out fishing, sitting on a boat. He doesn't have to be, taking part or anything. He can just sit back, enjoy, and spend time with some friends. We know he doesn't just spend time teaching and preaching. He sits and enjoys the time with people like Mary and Martha and Lazarus, who weren't held in high esteem in their society. They were outcasts and rejects. We know he's welcoming and enjoyed sharing meals with people that were also rejected, like that's the one. It's in my notes, and I was so afraid to look at them. Like Zacchaeus, when he went to town, he's looking for the people that are shunned and wants to spend time with them. Not just to convert them to his path, but because he enjoys who they are as a person and he wants to get to know them. I think this is all fantastic evidence for Jesus being the perfect friend, the best companion, and overall a great bro. And I think we need to start incorporating that more into our lives. We need to remember that Jesus doesn't want to just be there for when we need help or when we want to thank him. He wants to sit with us when we're in the quiet moments of our life. He wants to join in our worship and our prayer. He wants to sit with us while we're having a drink. He wants to be involved in every single aspect of our life. He wants to know everything, spend as much time with you as he can. It's what he wants desperately, is to be the best friend he can be for you guys. And I think that's something that we need to start appreciating more. We need to ask for him to spend that time with us. And remember that he is there to spend that time with us. All right? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Christ wants us to have the best. This wine isn't bad wine. It's the best wine. He wants all of us to have the best in our lives. Now, a little tangent I'm going to go on here is a little bit about explaining why the water matters and why the wine matters. So, what does wine represent in the Bible? I think most of us are familiar. Is when Jesus tells us what communion is for and why we take it. It's his blood. The wine always represents a sacrifice that he made for us. Whenever he's using wine in the Bible, it's to represent that, I believe. So, that's fun where I am. Now, turning water into wine isn't an easy feat. It's something that humans have been doing for a very long time, but not necessarily to a good quality. To make basic wine, you need 4 things. You need sugar, water, yeast, and grapes. Or any other fruit works as well, but grapes is our most popular option. And I'm by no means an expert on wine. I'm sure many of you are much more knowledgeable, but I think I have a little bit of background to talk about. I enjoy watching alcohol making videos. I think it's fascinating. Both my parents worked at a vineyard, and if I had a nickel for every vineyard I visited annually from ages 7 to 10, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot of nickels, but it's weird that the number is 2. So making good wine becomes a lot harder. You need to measure the pHs, balance things. You have like heritage breeds of grapes that have been bred over like thousands of years. You have different types of barrel material, different fermentation ages. All this goes into making a good wine. So why did Jesus choose something so kind of unimportant but difficult as his first miracle? It's because it's to demonstrate what he would do with his life. He would be the salvation. He would turn the water into wine and save us all. So, next. I want to talk a little about something else John does here. He's very detailed in his stories. He likes to build us a picture, but he was always drawing attention into important things. So, one of the things that he's very specific about is these jars. And as I mentioned, these jars are for purification rituals. The bride and the groom would start at service, they would clean themselves, and throughout service they would be cleaned as well, to make them pure. It didn't work. They weren't pure because they washed themselves with water. It didn't matter how clean the water was. It didn't matter how perfectly they made the jars, how much time and artship went into it. It didn't matter how many servants worked on this. They weren't pure anymore. Water couldn't fix that. So Jesus comes. He gets the servants to fill the water. He turns it into wine. He gives them his blood. It's his demonstration of what's to come. He's going to give his blood for everybody. He's going to give everybody the opportunity to have the wine of Christ. But there was some important work going on while he was doing this miracle. While he was saving everybody, it was free, but there was labor, there was work. And the people that were doing that were the servants. So they have to not only fill, but move around, lug, haul, carry these massive jars of water. There's 6 of these jars. They had to do that work so Christ could save everybody. And I think that's an important reflection of who we're meant to be. We are the servants of Christ. We need to do the work to prepare for Christ to come back. We need to be serving on churches. We need to be going out in the street and preaching. We need to not just being involved in the church, but we need to show our life is like Christ, demonstrate that we can be like Christ the best we can. Whether that means accepting people that we normally wouldn't, whether that means saying hello and offering a meal to somebody we've never talked to before, whether that just means being a nice person. It's our job as the servants to prepare for the miracles of Christ. We have work to do, and it's really important work to be done. Because without the work being done, we can't get the final thing I want to talk about today, and that's the fact that the best is yet to come. Now, I personally believe this story is the first miracle because God wanted to use it to demonstrate what Jesus' life would mean to us, what it would be. And I think nothing better exemplifies that than the final phrase of the story itself, the best is yet to come. God is showing through this miracle what Jesus will do. He's going to come among us. He's going to be our friend. He's going to want to spend time with us. He's going to want to love us. He's then going to offer us his blood, his wine. He's going to give us salvation. And finally, the best is yet to come. Something better is coming than what's all that's happened before. There's something that's coming that's better than the invention of the wheel, better than dumb cat videos on the internet, and better than pizza and wine nights, which I tell you from personal experience are one of the highlights of any month of mine. I think nothing better exemplifies that than in Revelation 21:4. Get it up, lovely, thank you very much. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. This is our promise of a life eternal, getting to not just spend it with each other, which will be amazing, by the way. Perpetual hangouts forever is going to be tight. But we get to spend it with the greatest person of all, the greatest friend, the greatest sacrifice, and the person that we all love most in the world. Life eternal with the best bro any bro could ask for, Jesus Christ himself. And that is why I think this is such an important story. The full cycle of the life of Christ and what is yet to come. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you all very much. I'm going to invite Sam back up here and the band back up here. Thank you very much.